Speaking of people getting upset, I made a comment yesterday about something. So there is this this post here. Let me go back. I'm gonna watch the clip. So I don't know who Joe Partozzi. I don't know who this is, but we're gonna listen to what he says. Here we go. The Joe guy, yes.
Do not commit more crimes than white people on a personality basis. Do not commit more crimes than white people on a personality basis. If you're going to say statistically they do, that is only because of impoverished areas in the lives that they've been given because of the implications that have been put on them through, what is it called? Systemic racism. They've been given a shit hand, right, and therefore live in that shit hand. And
that's right. They've been given a shit hand, so they steal makeup from CVS. The constant, like, infantilization of minorities in America is one of the most patronizing and also toxic things that our culture has to deal with. The reality is that when people do something bad, it's not because of the government, it's not because of some, you know, historical reason, it's because they chose to do that bad thing. That's the reason why. There's no, you know, big reason or anything else. Go to jail, yes. Whenever you kill somebody or you rob a store, you're not doing that because you're poor. You're doing that because, you know, there's plenty of poor people that don't rob stores.
More likely to commit crimes if they're impoverished, living in areas where they have to survive. If you were to take
You don't have to steal to survive. You have to get a job to survive. And most of these people don't get jobs. So that's the problem. This also isn't a race issue. If you want to look at this based off of a race or based off of an economic issue, I think that he's probably right. There's very clearly a correlation between poverty and crime, where the poorer you are inside of each ethnic group, you are going to have probably a higher probability of committing crimes. So yeah, I think this is obviously true, but that's not racial at all, and it's not exclusive to black people. Do you think bad people think of themselves as bad? Some do, some don't. It depends.
Group of people and put them in an impoverished area, they're likely to commit more crimes because they have not been helped in the way that they need to be. But if you meet a black guy on the street and you say to his face, he's more likely to commit a crime than you, you're fucking racist.
I think that's true. I agree with that part, actually. I think that the moment that you distill statistics down to an individual person and you apply a global statistic or like a nationwide statistic to like one individual person, and you say like you on average are more likely to do this, like it is dehumanization, right? You're saying that, you know, you're not a person, you're a statistic. But that's something that happens with many different vectors.
Yes, whatever statistical fact you're going to throw is clouded by the idiocy of yourself to not recognize why that fact is in existence. Not because black people are genetically more likely to commit a crime. That's stupid.
I'm really glad that this this fake narrative that everybody knows is bullshit is immediately getting called out by basically everyone. Like, if you scroll down and you look at this, all you have are people saying that this isn't true. Thank fucking God that we are finally holding people accountable for making bad decisions. Thank fucking God that there are people that are doing things that are bad, and you're not coming up with some, you know, elaborate excuse for it. Because obviously I said this. I said it's true that blacks experience systematic racism. They benefit from it, which is obviously true. Where do you think, do you think DEI is helping white people? Of course not. Well, unless they're women. But it's really that there are so many institutional and systematic advantages that are given to people of minority status that they enjoy that white people don't have access to and Asian people don't have access to. So this is what's really, and you can see this with test scores. You can see this with acceptance rates into colleges. You can see it with medical school acceptance rates. This is just an objective fact. And if you're angry about that, and that, you know, because there's a lot of people that were mad that I was using the term systematic racism because they think that for some reason black people own that term. No, they don't. Systematic racism are just simply two words put together. So blacks and other minority groups enjoy preferential treatment through DEI and affirmative action at the expense of white and Asian Americans. Socioeconomic conditions is a cope, and everyone knows it. Thank fucking God. Thank God. We finally have more people that are realizing this. I'm very happy. Please learn the difference between systemic and systematic. What do you think the difference is? Why don't you explain the difference to me? Let me go ahead and understand this. So let's work through this reasoning. Systematic is utilizing a system. Okay, what's systemic? Mm-hmm. Systematic is something deeply ingrained into a system. So you think that there's something systemic that is holding black people back, that's like engineered into the government? Is that what you think? Like, I mean, because this is very clearly, this is what the reasoning is, right? Like a systemic expansion. Okay, I understand that. Not particularly. Okay, so you're just simply correcting my vocabulary. This isn't like really an argument or anything. You're just correcting my vocabulary. Yes, sorry for taking your time. Me too. Anyway, so let's go back. We're going to finish the rest of this. Just a word not to... Yes, exactly. Systematic implies it was planned by a group using the system. Systemic is just inherent to the system due to its nature. Yes, and so anyway, you had a person here. Somebody got mad about this. Blacks, how about you say black people, you disgusting cockroach fucking bastard? So you have one person that's angry about this very clearly, and I don't know if I really saw this, but this is a person who... Let me see, can I find it? No, that's not it at all. I don't know where this is, but either way, apparently this person has like dozens of negative tweets that they've made about white people. So this person's trying to correct me being racist. Well, you don't really care about me being racist. You just simply are racist and you want to control what I'm saying, right? And he's getting mad at blacks. Well, yeah, because they're racist. That's the reason why. Man, I did not read Blacks Benefit from Systematic Racism on the internet. So let's go back and we're going to look at this and we're going to find it here, okay? So I did not read and this is also, by the way, this is a content creator saying this, and you're not going to have a lot of content creators backing me up with this. And the reason why is because I'm saying something that I think everybody knows to be true, but at the same time, nobody wants to really acknowledge. And people don't want to say what I'm saying, but I think it's evidently true. Yeah, they don't want to lose sponsors. They don't want to have people, you know, call them racist on the internet. I don't really give a shit about any of that. So DEI is factually provable systematic racism, unlike all the other bullshit blacks complain about, which is pure speculation. I probably should have worded it, black people benefit way the fuck less than they suffer from systematic racism. Because, yeah, I'm not pretending affirmative action and shit does not exist. Name one systematic racism blacks suffer from. Every instance of getting pulled over in American history. Isn't it crazy how this absolute total lib slop is just getting, like, it? This is it. They're so stupid, it's unbelievable. Wait, what? Yeah, well, this is the thing, right? And so I've looked at this because I've you know, this is a very, very controversial post that I make, right? Obviously saying something like this is very controversial. And so doing so, obviously I was reading some of the responses to it. And one thing that I've noticed is that not a single person is even responding to anything that I said. Just, I'm stupid. I can't fathom a person. I can't believe you said that. Is the funniest string of words. The foundational mechanism behind human society, every single factor shaped every single civilization past 10,000 years is cope. Well, yeah, it obviously is. All you have to look is the socioeconomic factors of different races and then rates of crime and then cross-reference them, right? It's a super simple thing to do that anybody with a brain can do, but you're not interested in doing that because you've already made up the conclusion without looking at any evidence. That's the reason why. So, I mean, like, yeah, there's no counter argument to this at all. And so he dead-ass thinks random black people can just walk up to NASA or any surgical position and get a job because DEI exists. Yes, guys, all you have to do is you just show up to NASA and you say, I'm black, and then they hire you. That's right. They're purposefully obtuse. Well, this is the thing, right? Is that none of these people, how has this roach not been banned? The rot from your teeth has gone to your brain. That you understand life because you're a white man, live their moms. This is like another big personal insult. Not a single person here, and you could benefit from a shower, of course, blacks, but not us, white and Asian Americans for other two, of course, right? So this is some sort of like implied racism, etc. Black people try lynching yourself. So not a single person here is engaging at all with what I've said. And do you know why? It's because I'm right. That's the reason why. And they have to they have to resort to insults, to ad hominem, to other forms of personal attacks, because they can't engage this concept in any sort of a reasonable way. And the reason why is because every piece of observable data proves the opposite. That's it. You can't argue with it. So that's it. They're ignorant, exactly. And because they're emotional people, why do you fight these battles? Because this is the reason why I fight battles like this is because this is a lie. This is the emperor's new clothes that everybody is expected to compliment him on. This is a world that is basically a manufactured consensus that's based off of a Russian nesting doll of lies. And the reason why I talk about this stuff is because nobody else will. Nobody else is willing to say any of this, and because they're worried about oh no, they might say something bad about me. I don't really give a shit about that. I mean, obviously I care. I would prefer if people didn't do that. It'd be great if everybody agreed with me. But I would rather live in reality than live in a delusion. That's it. They're operating on emotion and virtue signaling. They're not logically based at all. They can't learn from history. No, they can't. How about everyone worry about the problem of their own race, trying to solve other races' problems? Well, you obviously have to solve... This is America. We're solving problems based off of actions, not race. It doesn't have anything to do with race. If you break into a store and you steal something, you fucked up. It doesn't matter whether you're white, black, Mexican, fucking Asian, Native American. We can't have that happen. Like, so, and whenever you infantilize people and you treat them as if they're not accountable for their own actions, and it's actually some sort of, abstract system that you can never really define in any sort of a real way that's actually the reason why they're doing these bad things, all you're doing is hurting everybody. And that's it. It's not really race, it's culture. It has nothing to do about whether it's race or culture or anything. What it has to do with is that if you have people that are committing crimes and doing this, the problem is the crime. It is the action that they are taking. There's nothing else that's the problem. That's the problem. It's the action. So that's it. At what point do we hold everybody accountable when the system's protecting them? I know. And when a black man walks in a room, you think the same thing about him. Doesn't matter if he commits crime or not. Y'all wrap black people into one. I'm sure there's some people that are racist out there, for sure. And nearly 26K likes on this, nuked a whole generation. And I'll tell you that it's only going to get higher. It's only going to get higher. Because people like me will continue to normalize the plain English discussion of rationality, common sense, and reality. And I will do so, and other people like me will do so, whether people kick and scream and cry about it or not. That's the truth. System protected a guy went on a shooting spree on Cambridge yesterday. If a white guy tried to kill a cop, you think they're getting 5 years? I mean, I have no idea, right? I mean, I think that obviously, and this is more of them, black people benefit from systematic racism. Not a single person, I forgot this free will mindset. You could at least put free thinker in your bio so we can 100% tell you're a moron. That's right, guys. That's right. Being poor makes you steal makeup from CVS. Obviously, that's just the way it is, guys. Of course. And so, as well, unironically boost DEI is seeing a random black person on the street and putting him in the cockpit of an airplane. There is no amount of disingenuous reframing, emotional outbursts, or any form of just gaslighting that's going to protect you from reality. It's true. It's true. What I'm saying is true. The strawmans are so funny. I know. Well, I find this to be very funny because this is there is actually no substance behind any of this. It's just lies. That's really all there is to it. And what is this, your base tower? And if you try to shoot someone, the punishment should be they try to shoot you too. Yeah, I agree with that. And anyway, Asmongold taking a woke internet heavy fire. Well, it's not really, the thing is that it's not woke. It's racist, mentally ill, problematic communists. That's what it is. They are literal race communists that are trying to push this stuff onto everybody. And they want everybody to live inside of this world. Like, these are the same people that are, like, glorifying, you know, the Chinese government or the Cuban government or these other governments, the Iranian government, that, like, actively suppress any degree of critical thinking or rational evaluation. And the reason why is because they know their ideas can't stand up to it. That's the main reason why. It's kind of funny because they don't know they're actually racist. Well, they do know that they're racist, but they think that they can control people's behavior by saying the opposite. That's literally it. And leftist poster absurdly bought it on X. I have no idea if they are or not. I mean, at the end of the day, the amount of likes something gets doesn't matter. Please explain to me how blacks benefit from systematic racism. Matter of fact, or give some facts or statistics, or just ignore these responses. And so you have another right here. So these are two people that tried to go into a federal meeting that they weren't allowed in because they weren't federal lawmakers. And then they got taken out of that meeting and they took pictures of them and they're trying to pretend like this is the new Martin Luther King or the new Malcolm X. And I think that nowadays people realize that and they can see that this is very obviously a manipulation. It is. It's a complete and obvious manipulation. So the photo is so taken out of context. Well, it's being done that way on purpose, right? It's being done that way on purpose because there are a lot of goys out there that they see this. And, you know, when you get conditioned your whole life to, you know, like immediately, you know, somebody calls you racist and this is like the worst thing that anybody can say. So you have to like beg them to take it back. They hear this or they see this and they immediately have to like agree with whatever these people are advocating for. That's literally it. So, yeah. Anyway, absolutely insane things are happening. You got that right. Yeah. So you have this constantly happen. And again, people try to, what a retard. Every single person. Read this and go back and read it again. We should turn disparate impact. Look at this here. Literally every single person. Every single person is not addressing my point. There is not a single person addressing what I said. I love it. I do. I absolutely love it. I think it's hilarious. Because this is it. Of course not. Yes, because, again, there's nothing that you can say to, like, undo this, right? I mean, because they know that it's true. They're really mad today? Not really. This one isn't even really a big deal. And I think what Joe was trying to say statistically is that being in poverty is a huge driver to commit crime and that it's not a genetic component of being black. Well, yeah, obviously, but then that's not something that has to do with being black. It has to do with being poor. But even inside of different socioeconomic strata, you also have different race statistics for different groups of people. To act like every group of people is going to behave the exact same is delusional. Obviously, that's not the case. There's a multifaceted reason for why, but to just say that it's entirely socioeconomic is just not true. Whenever somebody is stealing makeup or stealing, you know, random TVs out of Walmart, you're not going to say that that's, you know, like you don't need a TV to live. You don't need makeup to live, but that's what they do. So that's it. And are all of the races now rich and only black people are poor? Yeah, I mean, obviously that's not the case, right? And so they think poor people that struggle can't be white. Well, that's and this is the reason. And here's another component to this. This is the reason why I care about it a lot. The reason why I care about this so much is because I grew up as a working class white person. And I don't like the idea that people like me weren't provided and aren't provided with the same amount of resources and, like cultural and societal acknowledgement and advantages that are provided for minority groups. And so when I see this happen, I think about my own life and the times where other people were granted advantages over me, or other people were given opportunities, whether it's a scholarship or some other form of beneficiary. And, I maybe didn't get the opportunity for that. So that's the reason why I advocate for it. I advocate for it because I lived through this and, I'm a lucky guy. I'm a very lucky guy. And I was able to still succeed and do well, but other people weren't. And at the end of the day, I totally agree with affirmative action. I totally agree with preferential treatment, but it should be on the basis of income. It should be on the basis of your socioeconomic conditions fundamentally then. And if you deal with that, then obviously, if that's the only reason why, then every other problem should work itself out. I think that poor people should get benefits. I think that they should get, more scholarships and stuff like that because they're the ones that can't afford college. But the difference is that shouldn't be a decision that's made on the basis of race. It should be a decision that's made on the basis of income and socioeconomic status. But they don't want to do that. And the reason why is because they're actually racist against white people. They don't like white people. They want to provide advantages and benefits for themselves and create an uneven playing field that they benefit from. And the reason why they get mad at me is because I'm one of the only people that calls this out. This is obviously what's happening. So yeah, that's it. I'll read a few comments about this, but then I want to move on. There's a lot of other things I want to talk about. I call that double. Iranians are considered white and all the opposition, but not privileged. Well, Iranians have like incredibly, really, really great levels of like success inside of America. They're like, again, like it's a very, very, look, the Persian Empire was massive. Iran is like an ancient civilization. You look at like the IQ graphs. Iran is like number 4 or 5 or something like that. Highest IQ country on average in the world. So yes, Iranians and Indians, for example, and Asians too, coming over to America have extremely great levels of success inside of America. It's true. And all you have to do is look at the statistics. So that's it. Punches like me, and it comes down to class warfare because that's the main issue, but it's disguised as something else. Yeah, exactly. And what was this here? According to Grok, the percentage of poor blacks is the same as Hispanics. Why is the disparity of crimes committed there then? I think you want to know one of the big reasons why I think that there are big issues in minority areas. It's because there's a bunch of white women that get together that think to themselves that it'll make them sad if a black person gets arrested. So they let crime happen in these communities, and then the communities get taken over by gangs, and you have businesses that leave. So this creates a fucking vicious circle where basically the communities just get worse because there's no policing for them. And so if you want to talk about systematic racism, that's the new version of systematic racism. That's what's really happening because these people aren't getting the chance that they deserve. So that's what I think. Yeah, it creates a vacuum of IQ. Yeah, exactly. And Daily Mail, what is this here? They're ruining our system. They are. They're doing a whole lot of it. Oh, yeah. Here's a great example of it. And I can show you this, too, as an example. Look at this. New York City woman declined to press charges against subway shover because she didn't want to put another black man in jail. Weeks later, he allegedly killed a retired teacher, 76, at a station. Just a minute. Can I find it? No, I'm not able to. God damn it. I might not be able to. I'm sorry. Here we go. This is something that I said last year. The biggest threat to America isn't Hamas, Venezuelan gangs, or violent migrants. It's upper middle class, primarily white women who would import all of the above to destroy the country in order to satisfy their suicidal impulse. I tried to warn y'all. I tried to tell y'all. I tried to say it, but nobody wanted to listen. Nobody wanted to know. And for whatever reason, you got this. And probably your best tweet. I know, and I said it. And this is another example of a person that died because of this. And it's homicidal empathy. Yeah, and I think I probably should... I'm gonna stop using suicidal empathy, because the implication is that they're going to be the victim of it, but they never are. It's somebody else that they don't even know. So the real word that you should use for it is pathological empathy, or something other than that, right? Can she be held legally responsible in a civil lawsuit? I mean, I don't know if she can or not. I have no idea. I mean, in a perfect world, she would be, but otherwise, yeah, it seems kind of unlikely. And so yeah. And women are not biologically equipped to improve safety inside organized society. Well, I don't know if they are or not, but I know she isn't. I'll tell you that for sure. It's obvious. It's imptard. Impactard? Yeah, it's perfect. I'll have to think of a better way to say that, but I like that. Involuntary manslaughter empathy? Yeah, sure. It's suicidal to Western society is the point. Yeah. They arrest the judges meme is getting popular. I know that because people are waking up and they're realizing how much of a problem it is. So I'm very glad to see more people waking up. And also there's more people that are now talking about this, and it becomes very evident. And I think that there are a lot of like well-intentioned, reasonable, normal people out there that see me say something like this, and nobody that's able to actually present any level of a counter argument to it. And they think to themselves, I wonder why that is. I wonder why that is. And before you know it, you get more people thinking like me. It's too bad. It's really, really too bad.